Right, well, lucky for me, I'm on long service leave and it's fantastic. I've been working in the place for a long time and now I'm on leave, but the problem is I don't know how to relax. And I should have taken some time off. I took a couple of days because I had, actually I still worked. Well, on the cars, if you know what I mean. I had a couple of roots removed from some teeth. It was horrible, so bloody painful. But the thing out of this, never work on a car if you're not in the mood, because everything that can go wrong will and has badly. Check this out. Painted the roof. That is newspaper. I was a bit overzealous in taking the paper off, and it flicked up because I started taking it off while it was still wet. It flicked up when the wind caught it and blew into the paint. I reckon I can get rid of that. But anyway, let's have a chat. So it's all been crazy busy. I finished work. I've been off now for 2 weeks, I think, and I found myself in a bit of a financial jam because I had to order a double door for the other place, and that was a couple of grand. I hadn't sort of accounted for it. And when I got home, my daughter, my eldest one, said, "Oh, there's a hole in my floor. Borer. Can you see the dust? This is bad." I had termites in the old house, and I ended up replacing a lot of the some of the floor joists. There was damage in the top plate that I did, and a stud, plus a myriad of boards. They were Tassie oak boards. They were hardwood. This is Baltic pine, and I don't know if they're still active because it's only localised in that area, and it's beautiful timber, but they've kind of ruined it. I might have to get the place sprayed, and don't know what that's going to cost, but I do have to look into this. So it's a shame. I don't really know what to do. I need advice because I don't know how you know they're still active. I can't see any beetles or anything in there that shouldn't be there, but what do you do? And what I said before, you can't do work if you're not in the mood to do work because it'll just go belly up. I ran out of tack rags. I had one tack rag left and it's not even tacky. And so there's that much crap in the paint. I'm gonna have to redo some of it, and I'll be able to salvage some as well, if you know what I mean. So it is what it is. I do apologise for not having a video out in the last couple of weeks. I've been doing more of the same stuff on the car, you know, preparing the door. I've got to paint strip the boot lid, but what's the point in filming that when I've already done all that sort of stuff in the past? You know, you're just repeating yourself, and there's more stuff for blasting and and plating. So where do you draw the line? It's one of those things. I'm doing stuff which is quite repetitive. So, but you know, in the next one I can put some bright work on, and I'll get rid of some of the errors and all this, so I can make it a bit more interesting. It seems to be the best thing to do in terms of videos is salvaging old cars and doing a quick turnaround to make them run and this sort of stuff. But it's not really what I want to do. It's more, I want to fix stuff up, and it takes a bit of time. But anyway, look, that's about all I've got to say. I hope you enjoy. Well, we got another door on. Looking rather lovely. That's one we reskinned. You can see the colour difference. Got to put that switch in before I can put the belt on, and I've left that sort of loose because I think I need to lift it to get the belt and the stainless trim on. Stuck these guys on. Gonna have to move them. It's all looking alright. The window reg's in. I've just got to have a look at the rod on the other side for that door handle, because some of them have different ways of connecting. This one, oh, we're doing that again. This camera's playing up. Has a dog leg in it there, so it's sort of you put it on the lock first. The other ones you can just sort of put on later, and then just click it over. So the difference is, where are we? You know, that sort of clip, or the white one you click into that has that little sort of lever thing you push out the way to get the rod out. Here's the XW. That's the air cleaner I put on, or I painted for it. Don't know if you can see in this light, it's a completely different colour. That looks more like P76 blue than what that does. I'm sort of tempted to put that one back on, but I don't think I've got any of this paint left. I don't know what to do with it. Now that, okay, so there's a dilemma. When I did this car, there's no hole there for that. So these just used a standard flat top, you know, canister type oil filter thing. I liked this because it looked more Mustangy, do you know what I mean? And I didn't want another replica GT type thing. Having said that, I do like the flared snorkel, which I didn't get perfectly straight, but I think it's age appropriate for the car. This is a very, very rare base. There's two types that came with these. It's got the holes there. Say XY GTs, Phase 3s had a blanking blade there, but the GTs had those, as did the XYK codes. I've never seen those on an XA. The very early maybe the very first of the XAs had them, because, you know, Ford. But I've seen the one I had way back when had the flared snorkel, but it didn't have those holes there. The only Ford air cleaners that don't have the hole on the side are XY, as far as I know. Oh, and XA, because they use that. XBs started using, actually early XBs probably had that too. Maybe I'm wrong. XCs were different altogether because they had two holes. One was for a canister and the other one was for this. So I can change that over, but it's the wrong colour. Which probably doesn't matter that much. I do think that looks appropriate for that, but that's a very, very rare piece, because it's either, pardon me, off an XY GT or a K code, so a police interceptor, or, you know, a 2V Cleveland 351. So I'm not sure I'll leave it there though, but it is, I feel, a waste to put it on the wagon. I think it does have to stay here, but I've just got to get my head around how to do it. I think that's an ugly snorkel. Yeah, but that's what, you know, and the other thing is, by the time I put an Edelbrock and a 750 on that, you know, it's going to be sucking through something that's this thick. It's very, very small. So it's all right for a little two barrel. But by the time you sort of tart it up, I don't think it would be. The other thing we can do is paint this one. That's actually an XC one. So that would go to your canister. But there's no holes around over here. Sorry, XB's had a wider thing there, that's right. So that is definitely a much earlier one, because it's very narrow in that area. Some historian will know more than I do though. But tell me what you think. I can plumb that up, but I've got to change these exhaust manifolds anyway on this car. But I'd like a sort of a preheat tube there, just to legitimise having that whole thing, you know what I mean? Where I think some of the early ones of these was just had a bimetallic strip in there and used to go independently of down there. I think, could be wrong with that. I think that's a bit too low, but looks alright. Try and remember all this. I forgot about this thing here. It's got two levers going, or sorry, up here and then down there to the lock. And I'd forgotten I was looking for a rod with a dog leg, and they're all too short. I thought, what's going on here? And then of course I remembered that. That's the old one that came out. It's got I think it was in the driver's door. It's got a self-tap in it because it's broken. That's another one I found. I'm also changing out all the black plastic window winding apparatus, and also the door handles. I'm going to put these chrome XCD ones on, just because I think they look a lot better. Hang on a minute, are these the same? They're pretty much the same, aren't they? Oops, what about this one? That's definitely wrong. So it's this one here. Yeah, it's got that little tongue. I've just got to get a 6mm, because I took all the hardware out. I'm having trouble figuring out where it went, or what was actually there. So that just sort of hooks in to that. Then that goes in here somewhere. Oh yeah, there. It just sits in like that. Then you can sort of open the door. But I've just got to put the speed nut in and a 6mm bolt, because these, what are these? They're 6mm, but I put these in later. So window regs are normally just riveted. They've got big aluminium rivets, and I put those in. With these, you have to have the head of the bolt the other side, because the arms for the regulator only have a small amount of clearance, and if you put the thread with the nut on the other side, of course, it's going to fail. So I put 6mm bolts, small ones, with nuts on this side, and that way it all sort of clears as you go down. And it's just going through all these bits and figuring out which is the nicest stuff to stick on, you know what I mean? These are tough to get in, these things. No, they're not, they're really easy. Working. Just trim the. Oh, perfect. Might grease that, it sounds a bit rough. I was going to clean inside the door, I didn't do that before. Let's see how she goes. This is slack. I'll put another handle on there. Still functional, but just slack. This one is pitted, so I've changed it as well. Let's see if this works. Hang on, where are we? Perfect. I've just got to adjust that a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to have to mess around with that a bit, I think. But at the end of the day, it is doing the job. So, I'm going to pop that mirror out again. Oh, I've got to put that in. Hang on a second, what do I do with that? So it's got a meter attached there. And that'll just ascertain that that's making contact, and the key lock will illuminate. Cool. Just taking a look at this bonnet. That's the moulding. It is so sandblasted. It's just not too flash. This doesn't look too bad. It's really good. I should really have a look under here too, but I'm not going to. I just want to give this a quick spruce up. I'll put this in here. And I want to paint it on the car, but it's really good. It's just messed up there on the forward edge where there's 412,000 kilometres worth of stone chips there. But on top it isn't too bad at all. And I don't care if it's got one or two imperfections. I'll just have to rub it back. Rub it back and just give it a quick lick. I might actually rub it back and just etch some of the problem areas or the bare metal areas and paint it on the car. I think it's going to be easier that way. I've decided I'm going to paint this on the car. It's just easier for me. And I'll mark everything up, mask everything up and do the roof at the same time. I'm going to put the guard on. So it's quite heavy, this thing. It's actually really heavy. I'm going to drop my plastic bags. Put it down. Oops, in here. It's not in the right spot there. Because I started to, I had that sort of, so I didn't mark it. I'm going to get a bit further up. It's one of those don't do this at home things. It's quite, I guess, bad for your back. Right, just a minute. You just sort of slide it around. It's all cardboard and bubble wrap and all that sort of stuff under there. That's around about the right spot, I think. We can just lift him up and just dig out that hinge. There it is. It does my head in. The boot lid is 5/16 course, they're on a speed nut, or a threaded speed nut type thing, and there are 5/16 and 8 125s, metric ones on this car, in the speed nuts. The bonnet is 8 125, boot lid's 5/16, but some of these have a 1/2 inch head, and some have a 12mm. Like, stupid. I don't understand. I think it's just about using up whatever fasteners they had, you know. We got a bonnet. So it's kind of messed up, but there's a little bit of surface rust. I left it outside. I did that yesterday, and then left it outside overnight, and I think a bit of a dew got to it. Same across the front. So I'll clean that up, and you know whatnot. The issue I've got, I haven't tightened this up yet. The issue I've got is that's too close there, and sort of better over there, so I'm just going to pull the bonnet that way. And that should alleviate this, I think. I'm not a gaps guy. See there? It's awfully close. So, yeah, I'm just going to fiddle with this a bit more. Then we're going to cover the engine and the guard and the plenum area with a big sheet of plastic and bring the car in a bit more. Take the front wheels off. Oh, look at this, bloody coolant leak. What a pain in the ass. I'll show you what it is. That bolt. I thought I put sealer on it. I must have forgotten. Anyway, I nipped it up a little bit, but if it doesn't come good... Look, it's got a lid on it now. It's pretty messed up. It's dirty across there. I might just mask it and just rattle can a bit of black spray across there. I should have painted underneath it, but you know what? This car is going on and on and on. I need to get it done. And I need to get it painted in the next few weeks, because then I can let it harden enough over the winter, put it on the road in spring, and then it's going to live at the other place, and the Galaxy's coming in. And I'm also, while I've got the gun out, I've got to do at the bottom of the XC's guards. The black. Oh, pardon me. See down there? I've got to do that and fix up that gap. And this was a thing for this year, and this one. These two Fords. So, yeah, we'll keep going. It's all good. I'm enjoying it. Got to cover up the good stuff. Oh, I never connected that though. Hang on. I was going to start without that. Right, taking the wheels off, got it on stands. Got dust everywhere, but what do you do? Look at the difference in the colour between the new colour and the old colour. I much prefer the new one. It's a little bit darker. So we've spot primed or etched over where there was some bare metal bits, and I haven't done a very good job. I am rushing this, which is the last thing you're supposed to do when you're painting stuff. So this is about painting the bonnet and the roof, and I'm not ready to do the boot lid yet, but I've got that sort of sitting in a black edge at the moment. So what I'm going to do, and this is going to raise eyebrows too, I don't want to wet sand and buff the bonnet or the roof. Well, I can't bother, but not just that, they're very flat, and they, you know, when you work on them. I'm going to use a 2-pack ISO-free clear on the roof, the bonnet and the boot lid, while staying with the acrylic clear on the side. It won't make any difference to the colour, or at least it shouldn't. If it does, I don't think it matters anyway, because this car is so square that light sort of reflects off in a very different way. So there's going to be a dust in, so I'll do, once I fix those quarters, did I mention this? I think I did. I'm just going to do those quarters and back doors together, and then I'm sort of out of it. Oh, on the front guard, but that's nothing. So I'll just key back the roof. The paint on the roof is very stable, it's fine. I'm going to key back and prime it, I think. Good idea to renew these cartridges. These are, they're supposed to be done every, I think, 12 months or so. And these ones are February 2019, so it's pretty unacceptable. I've also got those as well, but they're fairly clean. And they just come off. And I think they're filled with charcoal. And I'll date those actually. Oh, that says April 2029. Oh, that's when they expire. So that's virtually 12 months from now. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. So I'm painting inside. Oh, there it is. I'll stick this guy on and start laying out some primer, I think. Got it. I'm trying to get up. Oh! I hit the hinge.
bit of crap in the paint. I'm not that happy about it.
The boot lid. A couple of things I want to look at. It's got a bit of rust. Someone's had a go at just sort of brushing over something. Bit there. Trying to make sure nothing's gone through the skin. The funny thing about this, oh, and the other thing I want to do is check that this solenoid works. So we'll just energise that and hopefully it opens. When I got the car, I said to the guy, someone's painting the boot. He goes, oh, I don't know. Ooh. And I knew he did because he said an old guy owned it, but it smelt when I got it. You could smell the solvent sort of. So I'm going to paint strip this because I don't know who did it or what they did. Well, I don't know how well it's done or prepared. So I'm going to take that paint off. That trim has to come off. I'm more interested in sort of this. Just a second. I'll go and get a battery as well. We'll just see if that solenoid works. So we'll close the boot. If it works, it makes things much easier. Although it didn't have the button with it. It's trying to work, but it might be trying to pull too much current. It's getting a bit warm. Just a moment, I'll get something a bit heavier. Like this full-size battery. No. Not doing much, is it? God knows. I'll come back to that. No, I don't give painting advice because I'm not a painter, but one of the problems with metallics, you can see there, you can see stripes in it, where I've been doing the passes. And the other problem with it is it's acrylic, so it dries ultra quickly, particularly given today's quite warm. The final coat is just, I turned the gun up a bit and put a reducer in there. Not a reducer, what do you call it? Retarder. Which will allow it to sort of dry a lot slower, if you know what I mean. And blend in a bit better.
You can go both ways. Some people just do a random coat, but so you're just sort of dusting it on. You get a better result that way. Still looks a bit blotchy, but we'll let it try and we'll have a look then. Right, there's a very light coat and a wetter coat. It's not perfect, there's crap in the paint, but that sort of stuff can be kind of rubbed out. Sorry about this dodgy newspaper. I've got a bunch of newspaper to get rid of and I had a roll. I think it's at my brother's house of the proper stuff. So I'll give it another coat. One more wet coat. And that should be good. There's a couple of dry bits in there. But you know, this is not a concourse resto. There's crap in the paint there, I can see that. There's crap in the paint there too. Anyway, that's what we're up to.
Well, that's it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed this. Take good care of yourselves. I will endeavour to fix up some of these mistakes in the meantime. Anyway, take good care of yourselves, enjoy your classic, and I'll see you soon.